talk to y'all? Can I be honest? I was at the park with my friend earlier today, and she told me I have to make a video and record this. She was saying that I have to do a podcast, yet right now I am not equipped with all the necessary tools in order to do a podcast. So I'm gonna be doing episodes and videos of like story times, basically various topics that are interesting on stages of my life that I have grown through so far. So this video is being a whore, being a hoe, wholeness, hoeing, all of that, okay? All of that. I am not judging anybody. I'm talking about my experiences, things that I've done, and where I'm at in my journey in my life right now. Hello, my name is Viola and welcome to my YouTube channel. And right now I live in Puerto Rico. I am 27 years old and I became a stripper at 26 years old, and I quit stripping at 27. Literally 1 month after I turned 27, I quit. Because it was absolutely dreadful. I have nothing against sex workers. I love sex workers. I have friends who are sex workers. I know sex workers, and that's a field that I may be exploring because it's interesting and there's so many great quality people who lead that life and who are empowering people positively. There's so much more to sex work than what people know. And I believe that a lot of people don't know enough about it to talk about it. Yet I have worked and lived that life, so I'm qualified to talk about it. Okay? I said all that to say that I'm not judging anyone, yet I am not a hoe. I literally have been having this conversation with myself and my friends recently to inform them of the truth that like I'm not a hoe. And one of them, she met me before I was even a stripper. She met me here in Puerto Rico. So I came to Puerto Rico in 2022 and I was jobless and I was searching for a job and I was applying to all these jobs and I wasn't being hired for various reasons. And I was going through a very, very tough financial hardship where I was struggling to eat. I was losing a lot of weight. I was fasting and then only having a meal a day because that's all I could afford. And basically times were terrible, bro. I don't have to tell you any more than that to just let you know that times were terrible. And all I was hanging on to really was my morals. I was hanging on to my education, and I was hanging on to the American mindset, which is that, you know, things will get better as long as I get a job, then I could hustle, then I can make my money this way, Yet in a system like Puerto Rico, where the economy is going through it, and the amount of money that you make per hour is like $8 flat, $7.25 actually, I believe. Everybody's just struggling here, you know? And I don't mean like everybody, I just mean a very large amount of the population here are really going through it. So yeah, me coming to this economy where it isn't as easy to just get hired by a job unless you know somebody who knows somebody, and unless you actually speak Spanish fully, and so on and so forth. And then it's like, because of the way that this island is built, you need a car. You need a car. Unless you live in walking distance of where you work, and when I say walking distance, I mean no more than 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Do you want to be walking? Because it's 90 degrees and more every day, every week, all the time, or it's straight downpouring. If it's not raining, it's sunny. And when I say sunny, I mean hot, humid, like really bad. So anyways, in 2022, there was this older man who's like an uncle figure here, and he came from the States and he lives here, and there's a group of people that I got associated with who were helping me establish myself here so I wasn't alone, so I could figure things out and so I could stand on my feet. Well, he was on Facebook and he saw that somebody who he know who owns a club, a booty club, right, strip club, that person was looking for workers, right? So the flyer that I saw that he showed me is that this person is looking for waitresses. That's what the flyer said. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to be a waitress. Yup, hire me. I'm gonna be a bartender. Yup, I could work in the club and I could be, you know, cute, fully clothed. and I get to like see everything and like, you know, be kind of like a customer, but I'm a worker. Like literally, I thought it was the perfect middle ground. I was so excited. Anyway, I made the phone call, got all the information, was told to come in the same day, that evening, in order to work in the club. And I showed up on time, everything's so happy. I worked one day as a bartender with another bartender actually, just to be informed that I wouldn't be able to work there unless I was a dancer because the person already had a bartender. So then the American mindset in me is, I want to talk to your boss. Like, I want to talk to, like, this is wrong. You guys can't be creating flyers to get people in here to come and work a position that's not available. You liar. You got me here knowing that I'm gonna need a job, and then you're gonna fire me. You don't care about the situation that I'm in and the fact that you're gonna fire me unless I do the job that you wanted done in the first place. You need dancers. You don't need waiters. So why didn't you just make your flyer bold face and say dancers? I need dancers, I need strippers, right? You might hear me say dancer a lot throughout this video because here in Puerto Rico, the word stripper is like, it's Americanized. So like somebody might say like, oh, you are a stripper, if they know that phrase. Otherwise, they'll say bailarina, meaning dancer, meaning exotic nighttime dancer, stripper, extraordinaire, basically. That's how I started being a hoe as a job in Puerto Rico. When I was having this similar conversation with my friend earlier at the park, she was telling me that she doesn't think that like I was a hoe. And I was like, okay, like, what do you think a hoe is? And she was basically, you know, explaining that a hoe is like somebody who does anything for money, somebody who doesn't have character about them, somebody who is attention seeking and constantly thirsty. And when I saw her perspective, I was like, you know what? That is also a hoe. Like, yeah, that, you're right. Now I'm gonna share with you guys my definition of hoe. My definition of hoe is very, very, very loosely used and broad. My definition of hoe is talking to multiple people, right? And when I say talking, I mean talking sexually to multiple people, meaning you're trying to seduce them, you're trying to please them, you're trying to benefit from exchanging something with them, okay? That's one way. Second is sleeping around, having sex with multiple people. That's another thing that I define as like, that's a hoe, right? If you are a person, you are single, you're living your life, doing what you want to do, and you're sleeping around with anybody that you want to sleep around with, you're sleeping around with this man, that woman, this, you know, whomever you want to sleep around with, for whatever reason you want to sleep around with, the promiscuity, the way that you're being promiscuous and you are acting on lust and you are doing things sexually for money, all of that is hoeing. Also, hoeing can be, and I would put this under the category, I'm talking about a quality that is involved in sex work, which tends to be conversation. And usually the conversation ends up gearing back to sex. It's basically hanging out with men for money, you know, hanging out with men for what they can give you, how they can benefit you, how they can help you, which is also like being a sugar baby. There's so many other categories that you can fall in sex work. Being a hoe to me is being a hustler. Like, now, I will not say that all hoes are hustlers. All whores are hustlers. That's not true. Some people like to be a hoe just to be a hoe. They like to be a hoe to know that they could be a hoe and to know that they're desirable. And if that's what they want to do, let them do that. I am not that girl. Never have been. Right? Because I already know that I'm beautiful. I receive so many compliments each day, each week, that I do not need to sleep with every single person in order to confirm the fact that I am that girl. Like, I don't need them to tell me that I'm that girl in the bedroom for me to know that I am that girl in and out of it, right? The only person who needs to know that is me, and potentially the partner that I will have in the future, because I have been single for quite some time. And if you want to really get to know me, I have been on my celibacy journey for quite some time now. So if you want to hear about my celibacy journey, go back. And that is also what's crazy. That's what also makes my life story very interesting, is because it's so complex. It's full of so many layers. I have not had vaginal sex with a person since 2020. We are in 2024. It's been a hot minute. And the only reason I say 2020 is because, like, I'm not trying to be a liar. Like, there's a part of me that wants to say 2019 is the right year, yet I don't really remember that far back. I just definitely know that by the time I graduated college, I had already stopped really having sex. I was like done. Like, I was tired of people. I was tired of, you know, feeling like I was finding the same person in different bodies. And like, I was tired of all the compliments that would come after sex, or just come because people wanted the sex, and then they would get the sex, and then that's all they cared for. They no longer wanted to take you out, wine you and dine you and talk to you and get to know you, or none of that. They're just like, I want you to take your clothes off. And it's just like, am I not a person? Like, ooh, I could go too deep into that. When I started working in the club, I remember constantly asking all the girls, you know, personal one-on-one, like, what do you guys do at this club? How do you guys get your money? Da da da. And all the girls were, in the beginning, those girls were lying to me. Okay? They were lying to me. And I'm not offended at the fact that they were lying. I think they were lying because they thought that I knew what was really going on, and they thought that, like, I was asking them like I was a cop type thing. Like, I'm asking them so that I could, like, shame them and tell them how, you know, dreadful they are for doing all this stuff for the money. When the truth is, like, no, I really wanted to know. Like, I wanted to know what the prices are. What are y'all doing for real? Like, how do y'all get y'all money? How are y'all talking to these men and getting the money out of them? Because I was not that girl. I did not know what to say to a man to get him to spend the money on me. Like, that's not the lifestyle that I've lived before 26. I didn't really have experience with that. Like, sure, I have experience with, like, men buying my food and buying me drinks, taking me shopping, all types of things throughout my life. And usually the way that things led up to being that way is, let's say I'm somewhere, because I'm always on the go somewhere, and then a man walks up to me and he says hello, and we have this whole long conversation, whatever, and eventually it reaches the point of, I like talking to you, I would like to get to know you better, may I have your cell phone number, da da da. Usually give him the number, and then before you know it, we're talking, and we never talk about sex. Because if you talk about sex with me, I usually, in the past, I would shut you down quickly. Anybody who really knows me in real life, like, I am not that girl. Literally all of my life, I have been called the grandma friend. Do you see what I have on? I'm really cute. I have a duality to me where at my core, I am very oldish. Like, I'm an old soul, okay? Of course, I've always wanted to be the hot girl and wear hot, cute clothes. And I have had my moments where I've definitely popped out and been hot. In fact, I feel like college was that moment, because majority of my life before college, I was under my mother's roof, which means I had to listen to her rules, which means I had to wear the clothes that she wanted me to wear. So oftentimes, the clothes that I would wear would cover me up. Now, I didn't have a problem with me being covered up, because I knew I was that girl, covered up or not, right? And having been raised that way, to be covered up for so long, I'm used to just being covered up. And I'm not gonna lie, I think somewhere around like my senior year of high school and my freshman year of college, I got fed up with that. I was like, okay, I've been covered up for so long. Like, you got me covered up in the summertime too. Like, it's OD. Like, as soon as I step out your house and I step onto this campus, I'm about to do what I want to do. Look how I want to look. Put my little bitty itty titties out there. And I did that. I got my little crop tops. I had my little bralettes. I ate through college, period. I had my little skirts. I had, girl, see-through mesh tops. Like, when it comes to fashion, I am a fashion lover, okay? So I was doing it. I was doing it. I had my bodycon dress, my bodycon onesies, everything, okay? Everything. Like, I was that girl where you're looking to me for inspo, okay? because it's like you never know what you're gonna get. And I'm giving you layered looks too. It's not like I'm just staying on the end of the spectrum that is always nude and sexy and that's why you're cute. No, I would be fully clothed, layered, and cute. I would just allow myself to have more freedom to show more skin though. The phrase that came up today when I was talking to my friend is, you become those who you hang around. Now, I've been hearing this phrase for a very, very long time in my life, and I really thought that like I knew what it meant. And the truth is, as the younger version of myself, I literally knew what the words meant, yet I don't think I really believed the power of that phrase. Like, I didn't fully grasp the power and truth of that phrase because it's really, really true. It's not saying that, you know, you become who you hang around in one day. It's saying that you will become who you hang around over the next few years. So let's say you hang out with this friend that you met day one and that friend is a hoe. And you're not a hoe, but you hang out with that hoe friend long enough, you will start to unconsciously and consciously adopt hoe-like mannerisms, thought processes, their mindset, the way they handle things, regardless of if you want to or not. I'm just saying what has happened to me, and that phrase continues to reoccur to me because of where I'm at in my journey, right? So I am not a judgmental friend. I'm always open. So I already knew my friend was a hoe before we became friends. And my friend has felt comfortable to tell me that they're a hoe. Like, my friend is like, I'm not trying to hide nothing from you, girl. Like, I really be out here fucking. Like, I be taking these men to bed. And I'm like, oh, girl, thank you for telling me. You know, like, and then the thing with me and her is that she already knew I was a goody two-shoe, quote unquote, goody two-shoe girl. I was a virgin, and all through high school, everybody knew that like I was a virgin. And I feel like the thing that made me interesting is that I have always been in tune with my sexual energy, with my sensual being. So I've always been a beautiful dancer. I've always just enjoyed like rubbing myself and like shaking my body and like making my booty jump and like, you know, being that girl. And oftentimes I feel like in people's minds they had a hard time conceptualizing the fact that you can be in tune with you being a sensual, sexual, beautiful woman, a being, and not be having sex. Like, literally, they're two different things. For some reason, people couldn't separate it in their minds, so a lot of people would assume what they wanted to assume, and I would let them, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to argue against every single person. I'm one person against billions. Get out my face. When I went to college, I wanted to pop out of the box. I was ready. I was like, yo, I've been in the box for so long. I don't even know the other side of me who wants to express herself through clothes and being sexy in that way. I didn't even know the other side of me who could talk to men. Like, I did not know how to talk to men. Like, majority of my life was spent constantly being told what not to do. That it just seemed like anything that I did do was wrong, right? I say hi to this man, don't be talking to men. What, you want that man? And it's like, dang, like, he said hi to me, I'm saying hi back to him. I didn't even get to have a full conversation and I'm already in trouble. Like, what is going on? It was crazy. So when I went to college, I was like, bro, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna talk to whomever I want. And I'm gonna like learn this world on my own, because you're thinking that by keeping me in a box, that you're protecting me or keeping me safe, when the truth is you're actually stunting my growth. Because eventually I'm gonna have to face the world and the many types of people who exist here. And now I can say that I've done that. Okay? Now I can say that, okay, I know what you were protecting me from and da 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 da. But at the end of the day, I needed to go through all that I've been through in order to learn, right? I have experienced talking to a lot of people. And all that means is I've talked to people who are absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And I have talked to people who look like I want to squint my eyes closed and tilt my head to the right and pray to God that like I could see you from the inside, because I'm not liking what I'm seeing, yet you may really be a beautiful person on the inside. And I've always just been a type of person who I'm willing to get to know someone. Like literally just that simple. I'm willing to get to know someone. When I went to college, I decided to lose my virginity, and I just feel like so many things happened with that process. I feel like I chose a person, like, I kind of chose a person quick, to be honest. I wanted somebody who I just felt like, you know, I like them enough. I feel comfortable enough with them. They're cute enough. Like, they really were not all that. And I just knew I wanted my experience to be comfortable and for me to feel like sure about it. A lot happened after that where I had to just grow within myself and evolve and accept the fact that like soul ties is a real thing. People are liars. Some people can lie. I never knew how painful it could feel to like connect with somebody in bed and then to have that person lie to you, and it just feel like they just like ripped your heart out your chest and they like basically tried to like beat you up, like beat your heart up, like oh my gosh, like literally that's what I felt like I experienced, right? Because the first person that I lost my virginity to, I had thought, oh, me and this person are gonna be together, we're gonna get into a relationship, we're gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend. That's what I thought. And that did not end up happening at all. And that person led me astray. They were hyping it up, talking all this stuff. And it's like, I was so young and so naive that I didn't know to look for actions, you know? So I was really listening to words, and the person's actions did not match their words. And at that time, there's so many things and tools that I had lacked. Like I wasn't emotionally intelligent. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't really have that much experience with men, let alone boys of my age. And let alone sex in that genre. So it was just like, I literally felt like the whole world was spiraling, and I just felt so confused, and I didn't know who to turn to, who to share the news with, so that I could be comforted and so that I could, you know, be provided clarity and understanding on what is happening, what I'm going through. Yet that happened. And then after that, what happened within me is I started to think things like, you know what, like men are liars. Because truth be told, like, although I didn't have that much experience with boys and men, I did have male friends and stuff. And I grew up in a household with all boys. So I had a type of understanding. The crazy thing about life is that sometimes you're given answers to the things that you're going through the people that you would least expect. So that happened in my life, and I wasn't telling anybody what had happened yet. My brothers and cousins would come up to me and they'll drop little gems to me like, men are gonna say this, they're gonna do this, but be sure to see that this is bullshit. And I would like basically have conversations where I would pick at their brain so that I could like understand like a man's brain, and so that I could like better equip myself going forward, because I was like, dang, like I really like felt like I really messed up, and that sucked. So because I messed up, I feel like I tried to take back my power of my sex and my body by being like, okay, well, you know, he don't mean nothing to me. Like that was a one-time experience. Like that was just him. That's like not all men, right? Because that's how I used to think. Now I think a whole nother thing. Okay, if you want to know how I think now, scroll down through my videos and watch my It's Not You, It's Men video, because there is where I'm at in my journey and what I truly believe. Do I believe it's all men? No, I don't believe it's all men. I believe it's a man. It's always a man. Like, there was a woman who said that phrase, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's not all men, but it's always a man. Which makes it feel like it's all of them, because it is actually a large population of them. Yet, there are good men in this world. Because of that experience, I started thinking, oh, yep, I'm about to be a hoe. And it's not even like I thought about what I was going to do as being a hoe. I more so thought that I'm about to be free, and I'm about to... And now that I've like crossed the threshold and I've stepped into the sexual active realm, I was like, yo, I'm about to just do what I want to do, go on a bunch of dates, see who I feel a good vibe with, see who treats me the best, see, you know, what life has to offer me at this age, at this time, and, you know, see what more there is to experience. And I kid you not, I ended up in like 2 more relationships after losing my virginity, which honestly are fascinating because it just shows how hell-bent I was on having a monogamous relationship and on being sexually with one person. Like, that's something that I've always wanted and I want now, you know, which is why I'm on my journey right now towards that. The first relationship that I was in, it ended quickly, and I ended it because he was so sexual, he was so lustful. That's what made me end the relationship with him. Is because I got into a relationship with him and I thought that things would be sweet. I'm a very straightforward person, so I'm gonna tell you what it is and what it ain't. And I'm just gonna lay it all out there so that you know how I'm coming, right? So you can let me know if you wanna match me or not. So I literally told my first boyfriend, I was like, listen, like, I'm looking for a serious relationship. I expect you to be faithful. These are my expectations. These are my requirements. I'm not gonna have sex with you now or anytime soon. I said, you know, when I feel ready is when we will have sex, and until then, like, we are in our relationship, building ourselves, learning one another, loving ourselves. Like, that's the type of time I was on. I kid you not, he made it seem like he was on the same type of time, and it was like after 2 weeks he was just like constantly trying to like set a trap. And what I mean by setting a trap is he's like, oh, you come to my house today, my mom's not gonna be there, and we can just chill and watch a movie and da-da-da. And I said, none of that sounds right to me. I'm absolutely not coming. That just sounds like a trap to me. Like, what am I gonna be doing in your house? We're gonna be watching a movie. Why is your mom not there? Why can't I meet your mom and hang out with her too? Like, that's where I was at with it. And then he was like, oh, or maybe I could come to your house. Nope, you could never come to my house. And at that time, I live in a Jamaican household. Bro, what? You're never coming to my house. Are you trying to get your ass kicked? Like, you want to get beat up, huh? That's what you want. I ended up breaking up with him because I got fed up. Like, literally, I think we didn't even make it to 3 months. I think by the 2nd month, I had caught him in like 2 or 3 different lies. Like, and it was, you were lying for the dumbest stuff. You're lying for the dumbest stuff, and I don't like a liar. So like, I was just like, like, now that I'm older, I can look back on situations and understand. After that boyfriend, I was so fed up. I was so done, and I was like, okay, maybe me being monogamous is like not the thing for me. I literally started to think to myself with the mindset that I had at that age that, you know, maybe I'm too young to be in a monogamous relationship. Maybe I have a lot of things that I need to work on. Maybe I need to practice talking to men and learning the difference between men. So I need to practice dating. And then it was just like, all of that combined led me to being like, yeah, I'm just gonna pick out the guys that I like the most, know that they're potentially gonna lie to me, and just have my way, do what I want to do with them, and tell nobody what my business is. And because I did that, I like considered that section of my life hoeing. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the real reason why I consider that section of my life hoeing is because I was sleeping with multiple people. Like, I was really like out here. I was in this person's room, I was in that person's room, I was flirting with this other person. Like, I was really doing whatever I wanted to do with no bounds, with no regards of one another. And nowhere in my mind did I think that it would come back to bite me in my behind. Nowhere in my mind did I think that it would blow up in my face. I thought I was moving so smartly until one day, a guy friend of mine who was friends with all guys or whatever told me that he overheard a conversation where 2 men that I had slept with were having a conversation about having had sex with me. And I was just like, fuck. I kid you not, I felt internally, I just felt like everything like squeeze and just like crumble. And I didn't know if I was like mad, like I want to go fight these men, because I was going through so many emotions and I really was not emotionally intelligent enough to grasp what I was feeling. So I remember like listening to this person relay this to me, and I never thought in that moment that like, this is God. Like, God wants me to hear the fuckery that I'm doing, because the fact that I could hear it means that others would know it and they would hear it. And for those who don't know why I wouldn't want that to happen, it's because in college I was a very, very popular person. I walk at 5'10". I'm hard to miss. My hair was very red. I stood out. I dressed like top notch, that girl. So a lot of people engage with me. A lot of people talk to me. And so with me being on my whole phase and thinking that I'm being smart by, trying to sleep with the quietest people, the fact that somebody who has nothing to do with what I'm doing could receive information about me meant that the men that I was sleeping with weren't as private as I thought they were. Means that they was already talking too freaking much. The person wanted to let me know that what they were saying was very positive. That's why they were talking. And I'm like, I kid you not. I don't care if what the person is talking about in regards to me is positive or not. I didn't want to be the topic of conversation, period. Because what people don't understand is regardless of if it's positive or not, it still attracts people in, okay? So with them having this positive conversation about, what I do in the bedroom, what they didn't know and they didn't think because they're boys and because we're all young, but I could assess at that age, I could understand, is that you talking about how good I'm doing whatever I'm doing, you think that that's making you hype, like, yeah, I was doing this and she's so good at this and da 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 da. You think that you saying that is making you sound good. You're making me sound good. You're making me sound popular. You're making me sound like a meal that everybody wants to try. So now, all of a sudden, the next few weeks of my life, I already have people on my behind. I already have people constantly presenting themselves to me, constantly want to date me, constantly sending me offers. And now you just tripled that. Now you just tripled that. Because at the time, one of the people that I was sleeping with they were on the football team, okay? So one of the people that I was sleeping with was on the football team. The football team is a big team of people, okay? And there were so many people on that football team who wanted the opportunity, and I was shooting them all down. And I picked the one that I wanted, one that wasn't like too popular, but one that wasn't, not, I picked the one that was like intelligent and quiet and like smooth and like, y'all wouldn't know. And now you and this other guy are talking, and the other guy is like, he's popular on campus because he's cute, but like he doesn't really play sports, but like he knows people, and y'all, I didn't know they were friends, but one thing I would tell anybody is like, if you think that a man don't know another man, a man will know another man. They'll become friends real quick. All it takes is them watching a basketball game together, watching a football game together, them wearing the same outfit, same shirt, something like that. And in that little instance, when they're having a conversation, men can talk about anything. And one of the things that they always want to talk about is sex, okay? So these two men who I did not think would know each other end up knowing each other, and they end up having a conversation. They end up talking about sex, and I come up in conversation. I don't know how I came up in the conversation. I don't care why I came up in the conversation, but oh yeah. And now y'all talking about all that stuff. Let me give you guys an example of how many people are on the football team. The team had about 150 people. No joke. 150 men. Okay? And they had every race. So I had every race coming at me. Crazy part is, in my mind, in my little cute mind, right, as a young lady, I'm thinking like, dang, like, I'm getting a lot of pressure applied to me. Like, is it because I changed my perfume? Is it because, I've changed my wardrobe? Maybe it's because I have this new hairstyle. Da, da, da. No, girl. It's because now they think you're a hoe. Why? Because homeboy is thinking like, he might have been thinking in his mind like, is she only, sleeping with me? But then he met somebody who could say, nah, she's sleeping with me too. And it's like, oh. And now in their mind, they like, oh shoot, she a hoe, because if she's sleeping with me, she's sleeping with you, she's sleeping with everybody. And that wasn't the truth. That was dead not the truth. I was mad picky, and I had picked my little roster or whatever, where I had like, I'm not gonna talk about the number of people, but like definitely no more than 5. I just wanted to be young, wild, and free and do what I wanted to do, and yeah, that's what happened. That's a real thing that happened. And I can't lie, I felt like that situation served as a wake-up call for me, where I was like, okay, like, fun time is over. Like, literally, I truly believe that that situation happened to show me the power of being a woman. Like, women come up in conversations so easily because we have power. Like, so that was in college, right? After that situation, I believe that situation was like in my third year of college. I went to college for 5 years. So by the fourth year of college, I was changing my whole leaf over. I was like, bro, I'm done sleeping with multiple people. Like, I am in fact like wanting to figure myself out. So I was kind of starting to go on like my self-awareness journey, trying to get to know myself. I was stopping the bad habit. I kind of was like reverting back into the version of myself that I had been in high school, where I was, covering back up and like no longer wanted to get to know any other man, because I felt like I had received so much information because of my experiences with them, because of things that were happening that was causing me to like shape the way that men are, the way that life is, the way that things happen, and the complexity of the reality of the choices that we make, and the fact that some of the choices have unforeseen consequences. So me being in that mindset, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm done playing around with all these people. I'm done like giving people access to me. Like, I'm ready to shut down and just no. That's the word I was doing. No. So with being in Puerto Rico, starting to work as a stripper, it's been years since I have been sexually intimate with another person, and like I hadn't realized that I started to lose my touch in a sense. Like, I didn't have the same touch of flirting and comfortability, because what I realized is that with flirting, you get better at it the more you do it. You get better at it because it becomes easier, so it becomes smoother for you. So because I hadn't been used to flirting, I was having to like relearn everything from scratch, basically. So when I started at the club, I was really like, I was operating the club like I operate in my real life. And in my real life, I don't do much. I just get cute, and cute is literally this, right? I think I'm so cute right now. Like, I definitely, living where I live, if I go sit my behind at the bar, crisscross my legs, cross my arms, and sit there long enough, I will have talked to at least 10 to 15 to 20 to 35 to 50 men within 5 hours, right? Who really wants to sit at a bar that long? I'm just giving you guys a hypothetical of real numbers, because sometimes it's a group of men that come to talk to me at once. Sometimes it's one man that I'll hang out for a long period of time, and then it's a group of men that will come and they'll ask me all the same questions. Where am I from? My skin is beautiful. Wow, your hair is beautiful. Your dress is beautiful. Can I buy you a drink? Da-da-da. There's a whole flow to this. I'm not new to this. It's just a part of like being me and living life. That's me now. But before I could reach this me who is confident in knowing how people are going to react to me and how they're going to treat me and what to accept and what not to accept, there were so many people trying to just basically purchase me for nothing. Like, so many cars that would stop and they would ask me like, hey, are you a prostitute? Are you selling? And I'm like, selling what? Like, I didn't understand a lot of stuff. They're like, yo, you selling you. Like, can I get a taste of you for this price? And I'm like, absolutely not. 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 Until I started working at the club, and I had to realize that that's the environment where that type of bargain is being made. And it's not necessarily that they're asking for a piece of you, they're asking for an experience with you. Now, the difference with asking for a piece of you, which I think a piece of you is prostitution, and then asking for an experience of you, I think that the experience of you is being a stripper, which I was. So with the experience of me, you may ask, can you give me a lap dance? And I might be like, yeah, it's this price for me to get onto your lap, look into your eyes, massage your shoulders, massage your arms, have you rub on my body, and me grind on you with some type of clothes on, right? Some type of sexy set on. That is being a hoe. I will say that being a hoe, being a whore, okay, it's not about your beauty. I feel like it's more so about where your mind is set. You're basically just thinking within your mind, like, even if I don't have anything, you know, on me, I can use me and my presence, my skin, my being to get what you need. It's a form of hustling. That's what it is. Being a hoe is a form of hustling, like, to be honest. Like, there's many ways that people hustle, and that's one of the ways that people hustle. And it's a hard way to live. I will say that. Based on my experience, based on the experiences that I've heard from friends that are around me, it's a very difficult, taxing way to live, where you're just constantly like on go, on guard. You're constantly just like thinking about the benefit of money. How does this benefit me? And that's not a great way to live like your entire life, because there's more to life than money. There's more to life than what you can receive for what you do. Personally, I feel like through being a hoe or working as a stripper, the things that I have learned are, I have learned how I was naive. I have learned that everything costs. Everything costs, okay? Before I worked in a strip club, I knew that everything cost, right? Yet, oftentimes when I would receive things for free, I was just so thankful and so happy for receiving it. Yet I never really thought about the reason why somebody would give it to me in the first place. Like, I thought this person is the kind of person, that's why they gave it to me. Yet when I started to work into the club, when I started to work in the club, I would meet people who would have deep conversations with me, because one of the things that I do in the club is I talk. Like, what I'm doing now with y'all is what I would do with other people. But like, not everybody is a talker. Not everybody wants to talk. So I had to learn other ways of communicating to get what I wanted from you. Like, if anybody doesn't know, like, the whole point of the club is for the people inside the club to get paid. So when somebody comes to the club and they pay to get into the club, they know that they're coming there to pay somebody to keep them company because they're lonely, right? There are various ways that somebody can accompany somebody who's lonely, right? Some people want you to just come sit beside them, be pretty, and drink with them, right? Those are good people. Those are good people to get good money from if they have the money to give you. Some people want you to do that for the free. And they'll pay to come into the club, they'll pay for their drinks, and they don't want to pay for anything with you because they believe that you're at work, and that because they paid to come into the club, that you should be willing to sit beside them and talk to them without money. No. As a hustler, you got to see that this person is not trying to pay you, and they came up in here and they paid to come up in here and they paid for them drinks. Personally, I developed a ticking clock in my mind where it's like, you got 10 seconds to tuck some money somewhere on me, to keep me here and to let me know that my time is valuable to you, or I'm leaving. And I will also ask you before I leave, like, do you have some money? Like, do you want to dance? Like, you know, because some men, they may start off wanting you to talk to them because they want to just get to know you and be in your presence and, you know, have you up close to them. And then it's like they're shy. They don't know what they want sometimes. Like, they just want something. And they're like, and when I say something, some people, they just want you to touch their head and their shoulder and their back and all that. And it's like, yeah, I could do that after you pay me. I could do that after you pay me. Like, shoot, give me a $5 bill and I might go ahead and rub your head for you, rub your scalp and say, aw, poor you. And I'll give you 1 minute before I expect to see some more money flowing towards me so that I could, like, get into the shoulder and be like, oh, keep talking to me. Because what I've experienced here, specifically in Puerto Rico, in these clubs, a lot of people, they want to stretch their dollar for as far as they can get it. So they're not trying to pay you what you're worth unless you believe that you are worth that and you act like it. Okay? You can't be telling somebody, oh, I'm worth this much money, da 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 da, but you're letting them talk to you for $1. You gotta say, Papi, you want to talk to me? Give me $20 for 10 minutes and I'll sit here and talk to you. But if you don't have that money, I have to go. And you don't even need to have other customers in the place for you to just have to go. You can go and do what you want to do. That's how Puerto Rico is, at least the club that I worked in. You kind of have the freedom to do what you're going to do and to operate how you're going to operate, because nobody's your boss but you. And at the end of the day, what you do is how you get your money. So when I first started working there, I remember I started working October 28th, 2022, and I stopped working November 18th, 2023. And when I first started, I started working consistently from October until January. So I worked 2-3 months consistently, meaning that I was there every single week, multiple days out the week. And when I say multiple days, I mean some weeks I was there 5-6 days out the week. Like, I was really trying to adapt to the new environment, trying to understand the hustle, trying to see like how I can make myself financially stable through doing this job. Like, that was my goal. And what I had to learn and accept, which felt like a rude awakening, was the fact that that job is not consistent financially. Some days people don't come to the club. Some days a lot of people come to the club. Some days people want me in the club and I'll be the popular girl for the day. Other times I'm not the popular girl for that day. And then sometimes it's me and a bunch of girls. We're all really popular for that day. But my point is that it's constantly fluctuating. So my money would fluctuate, meaning that I would have really high days and then really, really low days. And the high versus low days, the high days were seeming like, I would say 4 days out of a month, I could have really high days. What really high days are to me are days where it's $100 and higher that I made in that day, okay? The number that came to my head is like $300. Like, $300 days are like, they're very possible, yet they are not consistent. Like, they could be consistent in the same week. There's a possibility where there's 3 days where it's just very late in a club and everybody goes home with their hundreds of dollars. Yet, because of this environment where I am, and because of the type of people who want to stretch their dollar, they want you to hustle them and to tell them and show them why you're worth that money, or else they're not paying the money. I have no idea how I'm gonna edit this entire video. This video is like an hour long. Those were just story times about 2 different stages in my life where I feel like I operated as a hoe, and the difference in the mindsets at each stage. In college, my mindset was, I had just lost my virginity. I had been hurt by the person who I lost my virginity to. I was trying to figure out things, and I started to use my attractiveness to empower me. I started to take pride in the fact that I could be picky about who I was having sex with, and the fact that I could have sex with multiple people. And so I was just exploring, and in a way I was also practicing too. I was practicing sex, and I was wanting to get better, and I was wanting to be complimented, and I was wanting to be like praised for being a really great sexual partner, I thought that at that time, that would make me feel good, and it did. It fulfilled the part of me that felt hurt from giving my virginity to somebody and wanting to be in a relationship. Yeah, but eventually I evolved from that mindset, right? When I was working as a stripper, the mindset that I developed then was a mindset of, I am a woman now. Like, I am an adult. Like, I'm in this environment where in Puerto Rico, it is normal for people to be sexually promiscuous with one another. Like, it's so normalized to the point where I'm just like, I'm still accepting it, is what I will say. Because I've lived here long enough to no longer be fully shocked by a lot of the things that I hear, a lot of the things that I see, a lot of the drama that's occurring. Yet, within me, I really don't align with the way that a lot of the people here in this society operate. I'm just like, why did you do that? Like, why are you, although a lot of people in Puerto Rico are paired up and they have relationships, I have heard a lot of stories about a lot of the relationships having experienced moments of infidelity and cheating, and I'm just like, that's not normal. Like, this is not normal to me, right? It's not normal to the dream that I have within me of being faithful with one person, monogamy, marriage, and commitment, right? So when I see all these marriages and it seems like these people are so happy, and it seems like these people are so happy, it seems like these people really love one another, it seems like these people are in love and of love. And then I hear that, oh, he has multiple girlfriends, or oh, he actually cheated on me last week. Just like, whoa, like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I feel like it gets worse. And I feel like the point that makes it, I gotta adjust how I'm sitting when I tell y'all this. Working in the club has shown me everything that I need to see about a man. Working in the club has taught me everything that I need to see and know about a man. Baby, honey, now I know men for real. For real. I've met them all, okay? I've met them all, all right? Before I even went to the club, I've known good men, right? And at the end of the day, a man is going to be a man. Even good men are men, right? Good men to me are men with emotional intelligence and men who commit to controlling themselves. That's literally what a good man is to me. Because it doesn't mean that they don't have the urges. It doesn't mean that they don't have the thoughts. It doesn't mean that they are not human, you know, and that they don't make mistakes. Yet, I feel like a good man doesn't make the same mistakes that a man who doesn't know how to control himself does. That's all I'm gonna say. And it doesn't mean that, you know, there isn't a lot of gray areas where people evolve and, you know, they were going through something and they needed to do what they had to do so they could learn from that to become a good man. Listen, all I'm gonna say is a man can't tell me nothing that I don't know. You can't tell me nothing that I don't know. Because I've been around y'all. I've been around y'all. And when I say y'all, I can say that now. Because the moment that you work in a strip club, you will know a man. Spending so much time in the strip club has taught me how to approach men. And it's taught me how to see what kind of man a man is by looking at him, by listening to him. You know, a ring on the man's finger doesn't really mean much unless the man cares about that ring on his finger. And even if he cares about it, it still could not mean much unless the man has morals and he understands what he has and he doesn't want to lose it. Those are the men where I'd be like, okay, like, I'm gonna let you rock. In a way, I feel like by working at the club, I've developed ways to see money and to have fun with asking for money. Like, I'm not begging you for money. You want to give me the money. Sometimes I literally just have to give you a reason that makes sense to you as to why the money should come to me. So if a man be staring at my titties too long, I'll be like, give me money, can you stare at my titties? Period. If a man want to touch me and rub my skin too long, give me some money because I'm so soft and you want to rub me. If a man is deeply inhaling the aroma that I have on, give me some money because you breathing in my aroma. Give me some money because I smell so good. Give me some money because I look so good. Any compliment you give. You like my shoes? Give me some money so that I keep my toes cute for these shoes. Period. Like, what, you like my outfit? Give me some money to contribute to my outfits in the future. I'm not gonna say that always works for everybody. I'm just saying that, like, if you know how to ask for it, if you know how to incorporate multiple different layers of the fact that you are there in somebody's face, in their presence, then you will get some money out of these people. You can get money. You just gotta believe that you can get the money. You gotta believe that you're worth the money, and you gotta stand in line too. And you have to know when to. I had to learn when to take a win. Like, if I ask for $20 and the man say, I don't got 20 but I got 10. Now it depends, right? For me, if I say, oh, give me $20 and I'll talk to you for 10 minutes, and the man say, I don't got $20 but I got 10, I would rather take the 10 from him now, right? And let him talk, because in my bank book, getting $10 is better than getting 0, right? Because I'm starting at 0 and I'm asking him for 20 and he's telling me he got 10. I might take the 10 so that I have some in my bank book, and I might honestly give him less time without telling him. You know, I said $20 for 10 minutes. You tell me you got $10. I'm gonna take the $10 and you got 5 minutes. And I'm not telling you got 5 minutes either. When 5 minutes is up, I'm gonna walk away unless you start giving me more money. Like, there's a way in which you gotta learn how to, like, it's so complicated. There's a way in which you gotta learn how to work. And I feel like some people who are all for the money, they will allow themselves to be bargained for any price because they're like, something is better than nothing. And that is true some days. That is true some days when things are hard, you can feel that way. Yet for me, I'm like, I have definitely lost a lot of opportunities because of the fact that I was not willing to accept less than what I stated. Like, and I was not willing to lie too. I feel like sometimes with being a hoe, you gotta be a liar. You gotta be an actress. You gotta know how to play the game. And sometimes the version of yourself that will play the game best has to not be the real you. Because the real me, I'm truthful, I'm honest, I'm deep, I want to talk, I want to be fully clothed, I don't want you to touch me, I don't want you to talk about sex with me at all. Yet, in the strip club, that version of me, she's being sexual. She's giving you what you need. She's presenting whatever dream is necessary in that moment to get that money from you. For real. And at the same time, I have my own morals of things that I'm just not willing to do in or outside of the club. And that's the part that really tripped people up, because it's like, my celibacy isn't something that I selected just to be celibate just because. It's something that's deeper, and it's something that I feel so passionately about that even if I never became a stripper, I would still be celibate. You feel me? You get that? Right now in my life, I'm at a stage where I have to acknowledge my truth and the fact that I am no longer a hoe. And all that means is I'm no longer wanting to think like a hoe. Yes, I have the ability to think like a hoe. And in a way, now, with where I'm at right now, I think of hoe as a personality trait or as like a tool. I am not under that title, yet some days if somebody's giving me a hard time and it's just easier to tap in a little bit into that skill, it could make things easier for me. When I think of it like that, I'm like, okay, sometimes it's useful on a technicality, because in a way, working in a club has given me a real life skill. It's given me a real life skill to understand the fact that people are judging you based on how you dress, how you look, how you act. All of that does matter. And being a stripper, people who come into the club, they want to meet a happy, kind, loving, sexy, empowered woman. That's what they want to see. Some men, they don't mind seeing a shy woman, you know. Some people like that because in their mind, they think they can take advantage of her. So if a woman wants to put on that persona and pretend she's shy, which, you know, I know some people who have pretended, that gets them money. The pretending of being shy, the pretending of being innocent, the pretending of whatever storyline it is that they want to portray for that day. And there's women who flip through different character traits that they want to utilize to be that actress for that day to get that money. I say do it, honey. Do what you're gonna do. Get your money. All right? How you want to get it. Recently, in this current stage of my life, I have tapped into my heart and I have realized that, like, being a hoe is not getting me to where I actually want to be. I feel like being a hoe to me is very stressful. It's very unfulfilling because the friendships and relationships that I make while being a hoe are superficial, right? They feel like they're only formed because of how I look, because of how I acted that day, because I'm people pleasing in a sense, right? Like, of course I'm doing what I have to do to get the money out of this man, but is what I'm doing what I want to be doing? Probably not. Not always. I feel like I'm in a stage right now where I'm tapping into my heart. Like, When I was in the strip club, I didn't really tap into my heart. I operated the strip club in my mind, right? I'm thinking like, this is work, you know, this is the way to get money, this is where I'm at right now, this is not long term, and yeah, like I'm hustling. That was that. Whereas now I'm wanting to live a life from my heart, meaning I'm wanting to live a life that truly fulfills me deeply. Meaning like, I don't want to flirt with people for money. Like, if I don't want to flirt with you, I'm not flirting with you. I don't care how much money you got on you. And I don't want to talk to nobody I don't want to talk to. So if somebody starts talking to me and I don't want to talk to them, I'm not talking to you. You know, like, if you're going to be a blessing to me, it doesn't matter how I am being, because if you're meant to bless me, you will. I know unconsciously that the work that I've been putting in on operating from my heart space, keeping my heart space open to good things, to pure love, to blessings, and all the forms in which they will come to me, that has really been a life changer for me. It has allowed me to see that what's meant for me is meant for me. Being a hoe is very, very complex. It has its difficulties, it has its fun moments, it can be ego stroking, it can be, you know, it can provide you with lots of opportunities. And I can't lie, as an ex-stripper, I can say that there are some dope people who go to the strip club. Not all those people are bad, for real. Some of them are really, really kind, really, really genuine, really, really useful, really, really helpful people to their core. And when you cross paths with those people, it'll make you feel like, wow, there are beautiful people everywhere. Because there are beautiful people in the strip club, there are beautiful people who are sex workers, there are beautiful people who work as janitors, there are beautiful people everywhere. Everywhere. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you guys for hearing my journey of my evolution and hearing my growth. And I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah.